Big part of that win goes to that crowd. They were terrific, tremendous, obviously, in numbers, but equally as good in energy and spirit. There were some moments there where we weren't playing as well. They were really engaged, and so really, really thankful for all the people who, whether they're on spring break or at 6 o'clock on a Tuesday evening, decided it was important enough to come out and support these guys and all that they've done to try to represent this program through this season. But also, obviously, proud of our guys for competing the way they did in enough spurts to be able to beat really good team. That team's really good, and it's going to be good for a long time under Coach Haas, who's recruited really well. And obviously, they got some really, really talented kids. So with that, I'll take questions.
I think Selection Sunday is almost kind of galvanized the fans a little bit. Do you think the snub sort of plays into the support you guys have gotten these last two games?
It'd be hard for me to speak for them. I think that we got to a point where they felt connected to this team because of the way they've worked. And people, again, I'm just guessing, just appreciated the type of kids we have, and the way they play and the way they represent this program. Our kids don't get any kind of nonsense trouble. Go to class, they work hard, and the people in the state of Oklahoma, specifically alumni of the school, relate to that. You get up and you go to work every single day, whether it's at a business or a bank or a farm, and you do your job. And there's a connection to these kids in this program because of that.
There's a lot of games that I think have defined this team this year, but the way tonight's game went, can you kind of see a little bit of the whole season unfolding in that one game tonight? The way some things didn't go well, but they found a way, like free throws.
Yeah. I mean, the free throw thing is, for any of you guys we shoot free throws about every 5 minutes in practice. We just put them on the line. They just shoot them. We shot 80% for 2 months, and then we shot 60% for 3 weeks. We've had more games where we shot better than we've had where we shot like tonight. So you move on. You don't try to make a big deal out of it because we got good free throw shooters going to the free throw line. You think over time they'll make them. But I think to your point, there was a lot of things that happened tonight that were like, this has been the whole season. Mitchell Solomon's in foul trouble. Cameron Griff has some really good moments and some really bonehead plays. Kendall Smith makes really good plays, and then you're like, whoa, wait a second, who's that guy that just made that turnover? But they're all good kids, and they're trying to do things the right way. They just don't always do that. So my job is to encourage the things that they do well, try to correct the things that they don't. And over the course of the season, we've somehow got to 21 wins.
Real momentous portion of the game, it seemed like, was the flagrant one on their player that sent Jeffrey to the line, and then he kind of backed that up on the possession when the ball came around to him, and he knocked down the three.
Yeah, I try to strategically plant those things, not necessarily a foul, but when there's a play that grabs some momentum, try to capitalize on it. Almost any time a kid takes a charge, I run a play for him the very next possession. Reinforce those things that we say are important, but also you take a charge and then all of a sudden you get a lob dunk, can get your crowd really going, can kind of demoralize the other team, and really can sometimes pick up an individual player who may be searching for it at the moment. But, I thought that was a big momentum swing. But, at the end of the third quarter, I think we were down 5, and I told the guys, I said, hey, listen, if we don't turn around our sense of urgency and play with a little bit more. It wasn't fight. We competed. We just didn't play like the season could be over. We had 10 minutes to figure out whether we wanted to stay together again as a group, and those guys certainly responded to that.
And after those second and third quarters, I know Jeffrey Carroll and Kendall Smith had just mentioned how when they were in the huddle, they tried to kind of step up as leaders and get the other teammates motivated. What were they saying, and how do you think they helped out their teammates to get that spark back?
Yeah, they were really just talking about doing the things that are important to us, which is getting stops. Our defense was really good in the first half, but you can't give up. I think they had 8 offensive rebounds, finished with 19. They had one guy get 20 rebounds. I need some of those guys that can get 20 rebounds. But, man, when you play good defense and you keep giving the other team chances, they're going to score. So we need to correct that for the next game because that's obviously a big sore. Give up 55 rebounds and lose the battle on the glass the way we did tonight. But those kids continued to believe that we could get the job done in spite of some of the things that we weren't doing well, and that's all they were really talking about.
Carroll led the team in points and rebounds. With the peaks and valleys that he's had this year, how inspiring was his play tonight for you guys?
It's what you kind of hope to get from your seniors at this time of year. You got to really lean on those guys. I've been fortunate to work for really good coaches and play for really good coaches, and that's one of the things you see a lot. This time of year, when we talk about the freshmen and one and dones, you watch the games. The seniors making plays for everybody. Not that there aren't really talented freshmen out there, and we certainly hope to have some here soon, but the seniors this time of year, because there's a different level of understanding of how precious this moment is. These guys, no matter how much they play professional basketball, will never experience what it's like to be on a college team. There's nothing like it. I've played with guys who play professionally in the NBA, overseas, and you never can replicate the college basketball experience, the camaraderie. It's more business, which it should be, at the next level because they're doing it to get paid. But those guys start to feel as seniors, and Jeffrey was no different tonight. He didn't have a great practice yesterday, and I told him at the end of practice, I said, hey, I didn't like the way you looked. You didn't have the energy, and this is it for you. You decide how you're going to finish. And he responded by coming out and having a really, really focused mindset, rebounding the ball well like he did tonight.
Coach, was this a tough scout with their size? I didn't do my homework, and they were huge.
Yeah, we knew they were big. They've always been a really good rebounding team. The one thing that they necessarily hadn't done is really stop people. So we felt like we could score, not easily, but if we ran good offense, we would get good shots. But yeah, their size overwhelmed us. Quite honestly, for the first time since probably the A&M game, I felt like we didn't have an answer on the glass. We did not have one. And you see what A&M did to the reigning national champions yesterday. I know what Coach Williams felt like last night. I was there in November. So, but yeah, this team's really good. And I think because most of those kids are young, that point guard's a freshman, those couple of guys on the wing are freshmen. And if Travis decides to come back to school next year, I would be hard-pressed to find too many teams out there that are better.
Coach, you faced 6 of the Sweet 16 teams. As you evaluate your schedule, do you feel like this is just a fluke year and you maybe don't need to worry about it as much as you think you do?
I don't know. Did I say something about that? I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is about these kids, and so my job is to evaluate whatever it is that I can control to help these kids be in position to have the most success. And if it truly was that the worst games on our schedule should have been better, because I guess that's what they're talking about, the absolute worst games on our schedule, then we got to play better, worse games. I guess.
Kendall said he agreed that this is a win-win deal for him later tonight, that if USC wins, he gets to take his teammates out to California and show them around a little bit and play kind of a home game in his home state. Yet, if Western Kentucky wins, you get another night like this in Gallagher-Iba, which, like you said, are precious.
Yeah, it's always good for kids to be able to go home. He'd obviously be able to have more of his family and friends coming to watch him than are able to travel to Stillwater. So I understand that sentiment. We hadn't played out there. It was actually one of the things that he was hoping we could do in scheduling when we recruited him. Just weren't able to work it out. So if that happens, and we won't find out for 4 or 5 more hours, it'll be good. We'll be able to be in front of some of his family and friends. But I certainly like the way our crowds responded to the way this team's finished the season. And if we're at home, I expect or hope that we get another really good showing.
With this size disadvantage, how important was it to force those turnovers, 19 turnovers, turning into 23 points for you?
Yeah, I thought that was the key to the game. quite honestly. I knew they had great size. I knew they had a really good offensive weapon in Travis, and we wanted to try to make him as inefficient as possible, which is what you do with really good players. You don't stop those guys. But he got 14 shots on 14 points on 15 shots taken, excuse me. And that's all you really can hope for, is that you make him take tough shots. But they don't have the depth in the backcourt in terms of ball handling, and we felt like extending our defense a little bit more could play into our favor, and it did. Led to some really key baskets for us.
Mike, I know you got another game to go, but in theory, what would it mean for a guy from Brooklyn to make it to Madison Square Garden?
I just told the guys that I actually played there multiple times. I've never coached there, so that'll be different. But it'd be cool for these kids, A couple days in New York City is never a bad thing. Just a couple days, though. After that, you got no money. I don't care how rich you are. But, it'd be cool, man. There's really no place in basketball like Madison Square Garden. So we've got that to look forward to, and certainly that's something we'll try to continue to emphasize. There's an opportunity to go play in a place that everybody says is, the best place to play. Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, listen to those guys talk about that place. It'd be pretty remarkable if this team were able to get there.
So Mitch limp off the court after his fifth foul. How is he holding up after the game?
Mitch has been limping for a long time, guys. He hides it well. But that's what he is. And he was hurt well before that foul. If that was number 4, as bad as he was hurt, he wouldn't come out of the game. He wouldn't let me take him out. And that's what you appreciate about a senior, a guy who literally has emptied the tank for this program in every way imaginable, and will go down as one of the true warriors. And again, I could not imagine having a more reliable player in my first year as a head coach, a guy that, whether he made a basket or not, and you can ask me now, and 10 years from now, the most important guy in my first year has been Mitchell Solomon.
You're going to be glued to the TV until about 1 a.m. tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to go watch the women play, and hopefully they can get that done. And That's good. They're right where they want to be, on the road, one possession game. Nothing to sweat about there. They got a couple really good players that can get them over the hump. So I'll be rooting for Coastal Town. Then I'll stay up and watch that other game as well. And obviously, from a scouting standpoint, we don't have a whole lot of time to prepare. So being able to watch them live will be a benefit.
There were a couple of former players in the crowd tonight. How nice is that for you, being a guy, outside guy, but they still come back to see your team?
Yeah, it's awesome. This is their program. Those guys, it always will be. If I'm here for 25 years as the coach and retire and live on a farm somewhere 10 miles from here, I never thought a kid from Brooklyn would say that, right? But this should still be about the guys who put on that uniform and have degrees on their office walls wherever they are. So I'm thankful a guy like Phil Forte, who's now coaching, decided it was important to come back and support some of his former teammates, but more importantly, the program that he represented for a really long time, as you guys know.
Jeffrey, in that first quarter, you had more points than all of the Stanford players did combined. What do you think propelled you just to go on that run and get that lead at the start?
Try to play my game. Try to take the shots that I take every day. So to try to just play my game, really.
Was there a feeling that you were going to get off to a really good start?
For sure, because I think that for each game. But I started seeing that ball go through the rim, and that kind of got me going.
You started strong, you ended strong. What was going on there in the middle?
I don't know. I feel like I kind of do that from time to time, but I'm glad that I caught fire, towards the end and try to put it away.
Can you talk about the sequence where you were fouled, the flagrant one, free throw line, then you finished that sequence off with a 3? Kind of take me through that, because that seemed to be the difference maker after they had kind of stabilized and were in the ball game.
They got a tech on me, so to try to make those free throws to try to get myself going again, and the team as well, and then to try to cap it off with that big 3 to try to get the whole place rocking and just try to keep pushing towards that W.
Were you pretty sure you were going to end up, when you were waiting for the officials to watch the monitor, that it was going to be a flagrant and you not only get the free throws with the ball?
I kind of knew, but I didn't know for sure. But he kind of came down on me pretty hard, so I just kind of took it as what it was.
You dished off to Kendall for that three-pointer at the end where he had about 20 seconds to shoot.
Yeah.
You instantly put the three up before he even shot it. I mean, how much did you feel that it was going in no matter what?
I mean, you saw it for sure. I mean, I already know because, I mean, he does that, time and time again, so.
What's it like when both of you guys are clicking like that, especially down the stretch in a game like this when your season's on the line?
Yeah, I think it's when we're both playing at a really high level, I think it's a matchup problem for the other team. And when we're going on the offensive end, it just lights a fire under both of us to be even more locked in on the defensive end. And I think this team has really prided itself on the defensive end.
Kendall, what do you think changed for you guys offensively in the fourth quarter? It seemed like second and third quarter you had that stretch where you weren't scoring very much.
Sometimes we can go and get in those little phases where we don't score as much. But at the end of the third, I think we were down, and we had 10 minutes left. And like I said before, we weren't ready for this thing to be over with. We both stepped up as leaders and talked to the team in the huddle. And I think immediately in that beginning of that fourth quarter, we came out with the right mindset. We were getting stops, we was getting out and running. So that's kind of how it happened.
You had a look of confidence. I mean, some of the other guys at times when Stanford got the lead, but I mean, it looked like you were almost supremely confident that this team was going to win tonight.
Yeah, definitely. No matter who we play, we've beaten. I mean, you can name them. I mean, we've beaten them. So no disrespect to Stanford or anything like that, but when we're playing in Gallagher and we got our fans, on our side and they're rowdy and they're screaming, that really uplifts us. And so I knew, if we took care of what we needed to take care of on the defensive end, then we were going to come out with a win.
How surprised were you guys to see all the fan support, especially during a spring break?
Pretty shocked, honestly, because, I mean, we knew that the students were gone for break. So, I mean, we had a great crowd tonight. So.
19 turnovers, 23 points off of those. With how your offense struggles at times, how important is it to be able to maybe kind of kickstart it in that form?
Yeah, it's definitely important. Like I said, we prided ourselves on the defensive end all year. And when we're really locked in on the defensive end, I think we're a really good team. That we're going to go on some scoring droughts, but, that's just the name of the game. But if we're locked in defensively, they can't score either. So I think our focus is every game is first on the defensive end.
The game later tonight, is that a win-win deal for you? Because if USC wins, you get to lead your guys out to California, which would be special, I would think, for you. And if Western Kentucky wins, then another night here in Gallagher, Iowa. I mean, is that kind of a win-win deal?
Yeah, definitely. I would love to go to California and play in front of my family and, have these guys get loved on by my family and embraced in California. But whatever happens, like you said, it's a win-win, and we just got to make sure that we come ready to play.
You guys are one win from going to New York. Just how exciting is that?
I mean, it's big. For me, it's big because, earlier in the season we started off, we had a tournament in New York, and we weren't playing necessarily our best basketball, I don't think. So to be able to finish the season back in New York, playing our best basketball, that'd be very special.
For Jeff and Kendall, just obviously not getting into the NCAA tournament was disappointing, but for you guys, how much has this been like fuel to the fire and maybe an extra chip for you guys to really make a statement in this NIT tournament?
Pretty big for us. I mean, we knew that we should have made it for sure. So just try to take that fire and focus and just try to use it for this tournament, and it's going pretty well for us so far.
You guys, I don't want to bring up a sore subject, but you notice the teams in the Sweet 16. Everybody kind of added up the record you have, and about 500, 5-6 against the teams at Sweet 16. What do you think?
I think Dick Vitale said it best. I don't know if you guys seen that, but I mean, that's how we feel about it. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's how a lot of people in the country feel about it. So, I mean, if they want to roll the ball out at the end of the season and they say we can't beat a team, I'm down to play them. So.
Talking with Coach throughout the year, I doubt he was too happy with you guys' free throws or rebounding. What was kind of his message on those subjects?
He wrote the free throws for us to see on the board, because I mean that's not us right there. Because I mean I even missed a few that I normally don't miss. So I mean that's just all focus. So just try to get back tomorrow and try to make some free throws. Start off.
The rebounding, I imagine, had a lot to do with a lot of big guys.
Oh, for sure. I mean they had some big physical dudes for sure. I mean so.
With that in mind, I mean, you get 7 rebounds. How important do you feel it was for you to crash the boards to help out Mitch, who was just getting banged around down there all game?
I mean, that's my job. I mean, I take pride in boarding, and scoring and boarding is my two my things to do. So I got to do them every night.
You guys have seen him in the locker.
3 assists, almost right there with Kendall.
Mm-hmm.
2 of those are probably mine.
I mean,
they get us mixed up.
Try
on the course,
to do it all. Try to do it all for the people. So just try to have fun out there.
Is Mitch straightened up yet? Because he was a little crooked coming off the floor there.
He's always straightened up. He's probably the toughest dude I've ever seen. Met, played with. Bottom line, because I mean,
he'll be fine.
His arm around you to help him walk off the court.
Yeah, I mean, he's a soldier. He's a soldier. Probably got to talk to him about that because I didn't like that. But, I mean, that's just – Mitch is a tough guy. I have no question in my mind that, he's going to be ready to play next game. So